Hey, how's it going? So we have a fun deck profile today. Always focus on budget, but focus on fun. So Tearlament, obviously, it's not considered, top meta anymore. And this would make me kind of want to give it a go finally, because, obviously I still try to make competitive decks, but I try to, do a fun twist where it's like, okay, maybe it's kind of, lost out of it now. But as you can see, we have Ancient Fairy Dragon. So you're going to see, you're like, what? There's synchros in Tearlaments? Well, that might be a nice surprise to see. So, without further ado, let's dive into it. We have 2 Rhino Heart. I was thinking maybe I should run a third one, but for now, we are just doing the 2. And then, obviously, only one of the others. So, Havness, Sharon, and then Merlee. So, you kind of need them for their amazing effects of fusing in the graveyard, milling, so they're just all around amazing for that. And then 3, King of the Swamp. This card is definitely great too because obviously, besides replacing the name, you could always just still send it off to the graveyard for the effect to get a poly. So that is pretty good because, we try to still, involve some polys, which again, maybe the ruling wouldn't matter. No, I think it's just any polymerization. So that's pretty good. And yeah, also just an aqua in general. So it's a win-win for no matter which effect you're going for. And then this is where it takes a really fun old school spin. A Treeborn Frog. Just because sometimes if you have no back row, this is just a fun reoccurring effect. And then even, forgot which one of the, Tearlament fusions, your Aqua can't be destroyed by battle. So it's just so funny to think that you can literally just have this in defense. And if they do waste something to pop it, he comes back and, still can't be destroyed by battle if you still have your fusion out. And again, even if it's in the graveyard, it could either come back with its own effect or you just use it in a fusion. So I thought that was a super fun concept. And then for the last Aqua, I did 1 Ice Shade Cosmic Lore just because I did, think it would be fun with the Synchro aspect to involve Ancient Fairy Dragon. So we do have some field spells, but it's not the Tearlament field spell. Because that one also, I said before, trying to focus on being budget. So we have different options that are fun and unique. And besides it just being a beautiful card, and Aqua, fitting the theme of Tearlaments, it's just great effect overall. And also, if you just focus on having it as a wall in defense, that works too. So no matter what, I just feel like this is a fun, interesting card. Easy to special summon out with its own effect. We're doing the Ishizu cards, so 1 of each. So Keldo, Agito, and then we also have Kelbeck, and then last but not least, Mudora. So I feel like oftentimes I never have the effect going where it's, like any of their effects where it's like, oh, special summon or whatever, if you have Earth Fairy in your hand or field. But yeah, it does not matter. It's just really crazy how these and the Tearlaments are all one-ofs, and yet they still make the deck run so smooth. And then this is the fun surprise to make it synchro for the last of the Warriors. 3 Assault Synchron. Honestly now, it's amazing how the price dropped for these. I wonder if it will go even more, but either way, still keeping it budget and fun. It's just super easy to special summon out. So let's say your Tearlaments are kind of dead, you can still synchro them off, which is phenomenal. So yeah, that's that for monsters. To help focus on also drawing, I Card of Destruction, just because it's just so great since all the effects work in the graveyard. It's like, what more can you ask for? And then we have a Super Poly, because like I said before, I think King of the Swamp could still work to search it out if need be. If not, it really doesn't matter because it's still just a great one of I'm running. Just because, not even for the Tearlaments, but I still have in there, which I feel like everyone is doing it now. The what is it? Yeah, the Underworld card. So whatever, you'll see in a bit. And then also the one Greater Poly. Honestly, I might take it out, might keep it in. Not entirely too sure, because I do like it. Obviously, keeping the whole focus of the deck budget. I do have a Behemoth, but not in this extra deck, just because I wasn't sure about the price, going up or down. So I was like, you know what? Let's still just use this for the Tearlament's Fusion, but obviously this card is easily replaceable. And then we have 2 Ready Fusion. They definitely help a lot with the synchro plays, and you can obviously use them to it's mostly just for the synchro plays, but it's just like fun having that as an option. Also, it does help with the one XYZ play I have. So yeah, because one of them is a level 4 fusion as well. So no matter what, there is utility. And then because of the Ice Jade, and then, Ancient Fairy Dragon you saw, do have a Dreamland. This card is honestly really underrated and crazy with, any deck that spams fusion monsters. Just because, look at that. If a monster sent from the hand or field to the graveyard by card effect, draw 1 card. So that is amazing, honestly, because it's super easy. And then also, this is what I might make 2 of and get rid of the Super Poly. Array of Revealing Light. I may need to check the ban list, because I'm sure it's fine, but it's whenever I see an old school card, I think alright, maybe it's too good to be true. But it's just declare a type of any monster, and it cannot attack the turn it is summoned, whether special summoned or anything. So I just feel like this is great for if your opponent is running a single type of deck. It's phenomenal because also, unless it's a mirror match, no one is really using Aqua. So no matter what, this is not really going to affect you at all. So this is super fun to have as an old school card. And then we're doing 1 of, so we have Harpy's Feather Duster. We have a Monster Reborn, because even if you don't want to do your own monsters for the Monster Reborn, it's just still good to have. And then the Change of Heart, because I just love using these old school cards in budget decks. And then we're going to dive into the traps. I might cut out some of the traps, because I have a whole bunch that I feel like I don't need. Tearlament's Crime, really amazing negation. Then we have the Celiac. Because also I just love how they all have different effects for graveyard as well. So that's what's great about this entire deck, is you never feel bad about milling anything. Like literally anything is fine. Maybe the 1 of spell cards, but other than that, it really doesn't matter. Then we have Meta Noise, and then doing a 1 of the Phantom Knights of the Shade, just because I feel like this would be good, if you're starting out or whatever, for either Synchro or XYZ. And then last but not least, the last 3, just because I feel like it's just still great in this format, is Solemn Strike, because if you are somehow moving slow, this does help protect you and make you last a little bit longer until a play starts going. And let's dive into the extra deck. I could easily change this around as well. Running 2 of the Rukalos, obviously amazing. Having 2 of each is great, honestly, because it does come up a lot where, you may want to have more than 1. And honestly, there's even points where I think, do I want to do a 3 of for each? Maybe, I don't know. Right now, I think 2 is... Alright, so as I was saying, can definitely run 3 of 2 sometimes, just because this deck really does move fast with the recursion. It does, because, you literally just send them back to the bottom of your deck. And also just King of the Swamp really helps. And there are also other cards too that help as, fillers if you ever want to do that. Yeah, then we dive into the 2 Kaleido Heart. Definitely really great and beautiful. I just also love how they have great effects, and they're just really strong in general. It's crazy. The fact that they're both 3K really helps, because I know that's kind of, the standard for boss monsters nowadays. But, even still. And for a super poly target, Predaplant is still great to have. And then what I was saying before is the new Grapha monster is honestly really amazing too. and how it works well with this deck. So this is definitely a win-win for Super Poly as well. But yeah, honestly, the crazy thing is though, is the Tearlament monsters, I don't think everyone realizes this. It's generic when you read their effects, where they said you could just, shuffle anything back to the deck for a fusion monster. Like, it doesn't need to be for a Tearlament fusion. And yeah, that's just crazy to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how I've been playing with it when playtesting. So for one of the ready fusion targets, we have Rare Fish, just because helps with either XYZ for 4, or you can do a level 6 for Synchro. And then we have Cybersaurus. Obviously, these don't really matter so much. Obviously, you could make them dark, so that way, it helps for Grappa, but it really doesn't matter just because you cycle through your deck so much. So then he would help for level 7 play. Because most of the monsters we are running are level 4, and, with Ready Synchron, I really love Golden Cloud Beast. Again, super budget, super great card, because it just helps get monsters in the graveyard too, in general. And you could even Synchro Climb with him as well because of his effect. But even regardless of, for the climbing effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard, target one face-up card your opponent controls, or return it to the hand. That alone is just really good. That I feel like is just what makes this card so great to have. So for, Assault Synchron to just easily go into this is phenomenal, because it's a special summon level 2, any level 4, and then boom, just have him on the field. The one Ancient Fairy Dragon obviously helps with, most people now are running field spells, so this definitely is great with that. Also, his effect, you could also special summon a level 4 or lower. So, yeah, there's just a lot of different benefits. So I am running a Hot Red Dragon Archfiend, just because, you could blow up the field, if you do have him out, because sometimes it helps, because, just having a non-targeting destruction is really great, I feel like, to this day. And you can still do a lot of your plays after you do that. That's the amazing part, because, for all of them, I think it's just like, anytime when it's not the battle phase, you could do their effects, or even if it just has to be the main phase, like, it doesn't matter, just blow up the field, and then you could fusion summon afterwards. And then also I thought would be a fun card, because I feel like I rarely have it indexed, is Stellar Wind, Wolf over here, and he's just very good with building up attack, very fast with this deck, just because it says another monster effect, so it doesn't even need to be your opponent's, it's just any monster effect is activating, so that happens really easily with this card. So you could either just have a crazy beast stick, or his effect is just so crazy that, like, I guess just because a lot of people are impatient, but if you do have his effect go off, it's crazy. Shuffle both this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. Do you know how crazy it is? Just because if you have him and then, have the field swarmed with your other strong fusion monsters, you just opened up the floodgates, like, it's, well, I mean, if they have literal, Yu-Gi-Oh! Floodgates, then you might still have a problem, but if they have, like, nothing to stop his effect going on, if they have no negation, then you're good to go. That's what's beautiful about this card. Also, it's a quick effect, which, even I forget that, which is crazy to think about, with such a random card. And then the last option is, because I said still everything is a level 4. Obviously not everything, but just there's a lot of them, so it just helps you get things into the graveyard if need be, is a Castell. I mean, obviously, are there better options? Yeah, but Castell is one of those, like, original XYZ monsters that holds a special place in my heart. So I just really enjoy it. Also, what's great though is, obviously, besides just sending anything back, it also, because I always use the effect to have detached to. It then at least allows you to have both of whatever you have attached to the graveyard immediately. So it is really just a win-win. And also, what I do like, it says one other face-up card on the field. I feel like this is also one of those cards where everyone just assumes it's only like, oh, face-up monster. But no, literally any face-up card your opponent controls, you just send it back, and it's just terrific, honestly. Yeah, there's really nothing else more to say about that, but hopefully you got to enjoy yourselves. Have a great rest of your day. Stay happy, stay healthy. I'll see you later.